Okay. Perfect. So it's all on Zoom? I'm getting ready to do a Zoom meeting right now, so I'm very good at it. Okay.
Hello.
Recording. So we're recording now, everybody. So if Michael Hackman signs on, we might want to jump over and take care of his quickly. For Peter and Daniel, they're just replacing a roof. I don't think they're just re-shingling. It was actually an oh, here he is now. Okay, good.
Good.
Michael, okay.
Gary Taylor?
Yes, hi, Michael.
Yeah, hi, how are you?
Good. Are you going to go video or are you going to go incognito?
I don't know how to go to video. I've never done this before, but you look good on TV.
Okay. And maybe, are you on a computer or a cell phone?
I'm on my cell phone. If I tap the guy upstairs, no, it doesn't work.
I think he's trying to butter you up, Jerry.
How do I don't know how to go. I'd go to video, but I don't know how to do it.
It might just be easier, Michael, just to stay without video so you don't knock yourself off since you're not on a computer.
Yeah, but I need all the help I can get. I just took a shower and got cleaned up.
Yeah. On that note, I'm leaving. See y'all.
Well,
I'm fully dressed, but okay.
so Michael,
Good to know.
Yes.
tell us what you're doing.
I got that shed on Brown Street that has an older asbestos diamond-shaped roofing material on it.
Right.
I came before the board, geez, I don't know, maybe a year ago or a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And I was hoping to maybe try to replicate the shingles that's on there, but you can't, those don't exist. So
Right.
what I've decided to do, if it's okay with the board, is just put some asphalt shingle on there that matches the asphalt shingle that's on the roof of the building.
Okay. Has everybody on the board gotten to see it?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. My only comment is, Michael, will you be able to replace the beautiful fascia boards in kind?
The scalloped molding?
Yeah.
Absolutely, yes. That's a big part of it.
Okay. Do you mind if I'm going to just include that in the application?
Please, you can put it down. I'd be happy to. I want to make it nice, and that's the way it, I don't know how old that was, but I'd like to do the best I can to make it look like it did.
Yeah, and you're right. You really can't buy those diamond-shaped asbestos shingles anymore.
Yeah, I couldn't find them.
So,
But I know I'm going to probably have to do a little re-racking to get it into square, but that's all right. We'll do what I got to do.
what do you mean?
Yeah, it's like tilting a little bit. I'll just have to put a chain in there. I don't know, pull it together and square it up before I re-roof it.
Right. Yeah, it is looking a little sad.
Yes, and I want to take care of it before it gets any worse. So,
Okay. So does
so
the
here I am.
board have any other questions?
Nope.
No.
Do we have a recommendation?
I recommend we approve.
I second.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Michael, you're all set. You know it'll go before the next council meeting where they'll officially approve it.
Okay.
But you can probably start replacing your sheathing and squaring it up and everything else in the meantime. But you know,
Okay,
that's
so I
your
don't-
schedule.
But I will need to come in and get a permit for that as well, right?
Correct.
Okay. All right. So I'll pop in and get my permit and schedule my guy, and we'll get her all racked up and fixed.
Okay, great.
Jerry, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes,
Thanks,
thank you to the
Michael.
whole board. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank the whole board. You don't have to just thank me.
You're the only one I can see. Everybody.
Oh, okay.
There's Rita. I don't know. She just went blank.
Hmm.
Oh, wait, I'm moving. I see everybody now.
Good.
Joe Sutter, Joy Harrington, Jerry Taylor,
Good luck.
Peter Morris, you're on the last page there.
Yeah.
On the board.
Beautiful. All right, well, listen, thank you all very much.
Okay. Good night.
Anything else you need from me?
Nope, you're all set.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. I appreciate it.
Good night. Good luck.
Okay. Good night. Thank you. Good night now. Bye-bye.
Right.
Bye.
So, Peter, Daniel, do you want to go over what you're doing again?
Dan, you want to do it? You want me to do it?
Well, no, I'll do it. Basically, the application has two parts. There's the old porch on the front of the building that faces Afton Avenue. And then there was an old porch on the rear that was dilapidated and has been removed. And we want to connect to an existing fire exit in the back with a new structure that would provide a second means of egress from the second floor. As I understand it, the issue with respect to the repair of the front porch is we would like to put in a new roof that is a little bit steeper than the present roof. The present roof, I believe, has a slope of about 1 in 12, and we're looking to go to about 4 in 12, 3 in 12 to 4 in 12, and put an asphalt shingle roof on it. I don't know, Pete, if you want to add anything to that, but I think basically
Well, there was another concern which you and I discussed was a look at the framing. How bad is it?
the framing of the roof is shot, basically. The rafters are spaced too far apart to begin with. The rafters extend into the wall cavity, creating a breach of the thermal envelope of the building. There really is no point in trying to save the existing rafters. So that would have to be replaced together.
What spacing are they?
Pardon me?
What spacing are they?
They're about 24 inches. And then I don't even think they're consistently 24. I think they're kind of.
True for old framing.
Yeah.
They're probably, because they're tied into the floor joist, you know, they're really based upon the floor joist spacing. But
And they're undersized too by current standards. I think they're like 2x4s, probably the old full 2-inch by 4-inch.
Yeah, they're like 3x4s.
3x4s, okay.
Yeah.
my house, my parents' house, had 3x6s for doing an old stone farmhouse.
Mhm.
They're amazing.
Wow.
So
It's not, Jerry, it's not just that they're undersized and they're going into the house. The low end of all of the roof rafters has been, and I use the term loosely, sistered. Almost every one of them has been rotten, and now that 2x4 that they use to sister it is what's supporting the roof.
Yeah, and that sister doesn't extend all the way to the wall of the building.
It just goes up to the point where the beam is solid again.
now you only have, from your photograph, you exposed 3 joists.
Initially, I exposed the photos that I had. I put up, I hope you guys had a chance to see them.
Yes.
I know that I'm up late and
Yep.
struggling with technology myself. The roof is much more open now than those photos indicate. So we had the carpenters that were there to do work during the painting process, which uncovered all this damage. We had them remove from the low edge of the roof 4 feet back to expose the framing so we could see how bad the damage was.
So that's all the way across the front now?
All the way across the front. I'm more than happy to put a ladder up and let you guys look at it if you're interested.
Darn.
Some of the framing was so bad that it just got cut off and thrown away with the sheathing.
Mhm. So, okay.
So regardless of what we do with pitch, all the roof framing has to be replaced. Just the
It
roof.
sounds like almost a total rebuild.
Well, no, because the framing that holds up the horizontal framing that sits on the posts
Mhm.
is still substantially intact. It needs a little attention, and we're going to give it the right attention. We're going to do the right thing to repair it, to make it sturdy again. All the fascia is going to be replaced because we're going to have to tear that off to expose the framing underneath. And you know, the real only change, other than making the repairs that are necessary, is changing the pitch, and that's really to gain us a less expensive roof with a better guarantee, and B, less likelihood of water intrusion.
When you tore off the roof, did you find the old metal roof at all, or?
Now, metal roof is gone. There's a little bit of the original board decking. What I found on the two ends of the roof at the hip was 2 layers of 3/4 inch OSB.
2 layers.
2 layers of 3/4 inch OSB, and on top of what's left of so all the OSB is gone. So we still have from the house, roughly in the center, maybe 25, 30 feet of tongue and groove decking material that was originally on the roof.
I don't know if I'd put OSB on a roof anyway.
I would never put OSB on a roof, but that's the way the repair was done that we're dealing with. And what I know of, this is roughly 2006, somewhere in that neighborhood.
And, that's not that long ago.
No, it wasn't done well. And it was probably done, I've been told by other people in the church that they know who did it, and he was not prone to doing the kind of work that we found. So my suspicion is, as is always the case with St. Andrews, it was all about money. And they did as little as they had to do, as cheaply as they could possibly do it to solve a problem. Probably around the last time that the house was painted.
My concern for the HARB board is the roof pitch. And I'd really like to keep it historic, and I've suggested using an EPDM or another single ply roofing membrane that can do the low pitch that was originally there. And I've expressed that to Peter, and I guess Daniel also. Other than that, I'd like to save you as much money as possible.
And for us,
Jerry, can I ask you a question? Jerry,
Yeah.
You're much more informed on the architectural issues than I am. I think I remember Peter's comments in previous meetings. The roof that he's proposing, the 3-to-1 between.
it's just under 4 on 12.
Yeah.
And the existing is just under 1 on 12.
That roof was consistent with the main structure, the other porch on the main structure, and that. So I guess I don't really understand how historic is that flat pitch roof compared to the rest of the structures in the building. I mean, in the borough, is it unique or is it very common?
No.
So that's why we want to replace.
Porches were always flat. They were
Okay.
always basically flat roofs with probably a flat metal seam roof. Would
Yeah.
have been and a flat means that they literally, you have a standing seam which goes up and down, and they literally bend it down, and then they'll solder the joint.
Yeah.
And they can move, and they last for 100 years if it's copper, and it's an excellent roof.
So these are not, there are some flat seam roofs on the building.
Yeah.
The bay window in the rector's office, very low pitch, metal roof. The porch roof on the side of the building, very low pitch, metal roof.
Yeah.
And over the sunroom, which is on the west side of the building in the back, again, a very low pitch metal roof. Those are not copper, those are lead coated tin.
Mm-hmm.
Something you can't buy today. But
Yeah.
just for the heck of it, when we were going through this, I talked to DeFran.
Yeah.
For me to put a metal roof on that is 20 grand. not including the framing repairs, just the roof.
Oh, yeah,
That's not gonna happen.
right.
I don't, unless you want to give us some money. If you want to give us money, we'll do anything you want.
Well, I wish I had the money because then I would give it to you to do it. So let me tell you, it would be
But,
beautiful. You did.
I mean, again, I think we talked about this the last time. If we go to a low pitch, and I hadn't really looked at EDPM, primarily because when I talked to a couple of roofers who've done work for us before, they both said, no, we don't want to do that. So I know I can find somebody to do that. I won't, unless I go to my go-to roofing guy from all the years I was in business, who is an industrial roofer. And I know that he would know how to do it, but I also know that it would be very expensive.
Well, the friend says that they do, their websites show that they do EPDM and other flat
So
sheet roofs.
I'm talking to Dad, not the son, okay?
Mhm.
And Dad said, not interested.
Well,
So he and his son have totally different opinions of what kind of work they want to do.
mm.
But they do good work. So
I'm
I'm hesitant to hire a roofer that I don't know to put down an EDPM roof on that building.
The friend did the slate roof for the library, and they've done your slate roof for the church.
They have made repairs on the slate roofs in the church. They are the ones who discovered that we had neglected the roof on St. Andrew's House for so long and it was a slate roof, that it would have had to be entirely replaced because it was beyond repair, which was a cost we couldn't afford. So that now has an asphalt shingle roof on it. It's a slate line shingle, so it's supposed to look like slate, but doesn't really look like slate to me anyway.
No, but no one's asking anybody to put up a brand new slate roof. And I don't think anybody.
We're intent on keeping, and I'm pushing as a property member, I'm pushing to have DeFran or a qualified roofer come in and inspect our slate roofs on an annual basis. The parish house and the church both have slate roofs.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So that we can stay ahead of it, so we don't get to the point where it's just cost prohibitive.
Right.
I have a question. On the proposed new pitch, can you tell me how high up off of, like in inches, how high up off of where it currently is would be?
So if you look at the front of the building,
I'm looking at that picture that you did.
The piece of siding directly below the windows,
Yes.
that would remain.
Okay. Just the one layer.
One piece of siding directly below the windows.
Okay.
The flashing would tuck up under that. The roof would be just below that.
So it's essentially
roof,
two of those. Okay.
So that roof.
That's a good question, Joy. Thank you.
That roof would be very, very similar in pitch to the roof on the neighboring house on the front porch, the rectory.
Right.
Probably a little less than the pitch on the rectory.
Right. I mean, I guess my feeling is that, we have to be mindful of the cost. And so, I mean, it is a change, but it just seems like it needs to be done. And if it's being done properly, then
this will be
the building will last.
This will be the second winter that it's been open.
Yeah, no, it needs to be done.
Can we frame it at the 1 in 12 pitch? I mean, and it might even be less framing than doing like.
Framing costs are negligible.
Probably the same.
It's a hip now. It's going to stay a hip. So.
Right. Anyway, because the father doesn't believe in EPDM roofs,
No, I'm not, Jerry, I don't know enough about roofing to be able to say what's best and what's not. So I look at what's been given to me.
Right.
And I initially suggest when I started looking at the roof and I discovered that it had asphalt shingle on it, and that was when it was already in bad shape.
Oh.
This was during this recent painting that we did.
I mean,
I knew right away that was the wrong application for the shingle.
Absolutely, that was a crime.
And I thought about EDPM, and when I talked to DeFran, because I compiled some numbers for vestry to make the repairs that we knew of, which just continued to grow. And he said to me, no, I don't want to do an EDPM. I have this roofing system that I use. It's two-part roofing system. You put described it as ice dam. I don't know if it's the same, but it's like ice dam. It's a self-adhesive product that you put down over the sheathing, the whole roof. And then there's another rolled roofing material that you roll out on top of it. And you could do a very low pitch with that. Costs more than putting shingle up and has a 10-year guarantee instead of a lifetime guarantee.
Well, how about the EPDM?
I don't know. EDPM, my knowledge of EDPM is strictly from my work in industrial HVAC for 40 years. EDPM roofs on commercial buildings don't have a 30-year guarantee. You can buy a 30-year guarantee, but they don't have a 30-year guarantee.
But you don't get 30-year guarantees on commercial buildings anyway. It's like your home, you can get a 30-year guarantee, but if it's commercial, you don't. And back me up, Daniel.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the longest I've seen is maybe 20 years on a membrane roof.
And it doesn't have to be EPDM. I just like EPDM, but there's other rolled roofs. There's white ones. There's different types of rolled roofs. But
if it's something that the board is stuck on, then I'm going to have to look into it. If you're not going to allow us to change the pitch, then that's one of the things I'll consider. It's going to come down to price at that point. So if the EDPM costs more than what the friend was offering initially on a low pitch roof, we're going to go with the friend's material.
Well, I'm gonna throw in my 2 cents then. I'm not averse to going with the pitch, the proposed pitch.
Yeah,
you
I
don't
would
mind
agree
changing
with
the
Roy.
historic character of the one of the best architectural buildings in the borough.
Jerry,
You don't mind changing
understand.
that.
I understand all that. I guess I'm thinking about, the fact that the church has done such a great job. They continue to do such a good job on their properties, and there are limits. And so
But you don't know what the limit is until they investigate it.
right, but then they're going out to roofers that they don't know. I
Right.
also had to friend do our cedar shake roof, so I know what kind of work they do.
And the Friends website says they do EPDM.
I know, but you're hearing that dad doesn't, and maybe the son would. I don't know.
I can talk to DeFran again. Usually when he says I'm not interested, that's the end of the conversation.
Well,
Yeah.
talk to his son.
It's easy enough for me to call my buddy, he's in Jersey, and send him a picture of the roof and say, what do you think it would cost me to have a membrane roof put on this, and what do you recommend?
Yeah.
He's not going to
Can I-
do it, but at least I'll have a recommendation that I can trust.
Can I ask the committee a question here?
Yeah.
If we do some form of membrane roof and a lower pitch, are you opposed to a white membrane like a TPO, or would you prefer to see an EPDM, which is basically black or charcoal gray?
Actually black, because it's not a insulated space. Black would probably be just as good, and for the snow, it would melt it fast. Wait,
Black would make it melt faster.
yeah.
I think
Typically
visually-
white is,
For what
I
it's
think-
worth, the tin roofs are all painted silver.
It's
but-
just my thought is that if it's a white membrane, that's not really in keeping with a historical.
Right.
when you're at that low pitch, you don't see the roof.
That's
So
true.
basically you have a flat roof, and if it's not visible from the street, then that's not our issue.
It's not okay.
But I mean, black would be better. I'm not recommending the white, but I mean, but we wouldn't really have much to say on that just because you wouldn't be able to see it. I don't think you can see it. That's an
From
old-
this-
I doubt you could at 1 and 12.
Standing in the street, you really can't see it.
No, from this picture, you can't see it.
yeah, so at that point, it's, you know, if we don't see it, we don't get involved, but we can still advise and try and make your life as simple as possible. And Peter, I would like to get up, it's supposed to rain tomorrow, but I'd like to get up on that roof and, you know, look at how it's framed and all that. I think historic buildings did frame back into the structure.
Yeah, everything goes back and there's no ledger boards and nothing. Everything, the main horizontal supports go back into the beam space between the ceiling of the first floor and the floor of the second floor, and they're spiked into the floor joists.
Are you familiar with the Makefield Friends meeting?
I live next door to it.
Okay, so there used to be 2 columns there. And right now there's 2 additional columns in the middle. And at one point they literally had to span out from the meeting house and were almost like freestanding porch. And I think you have the same, now that's a stone building, but I think you have the same thing here where those 3x4s probably literally almost spanned a good part of that.
No, they go from the roof. So this porch it's about 40 feet long.
Yeah.
And it has 4 columns. So they're about 10 feet apart.
Right, yeah.
They now all have posts in them. They didn't have posts in them until last year.
Mm-hmm.
And at least the 3 that we put in go onto the piers. The 4th one I didn't open up to see if it goes to the pier. It may be on the porch.
Mm-hmm.
But initially there was no column. There was just a box of 5/4.
Yeah, that's weird.
Supporting the porch. So the the roof rafters and the beams that support the ceiling of the porch run north-south out from the house toward the street.
Right.
So there's really no long span on anything. And
Right.
if the framing wasn't rotten, I wouldn't be replacing it. But the ends of all of the roof framing timbers are rotten, every darn one of them, some worse than others.
Now
And
they
the
go,
worst damage was on the hip framing,
right, on the one end or both.
on both ends.
So I'd like to see it, and I'd like you to check the EPDM.
I'll have to make some phone calls to do that.
Yeah, so, and you know, Daniel, if you can help them on that, I don't know what your
Sure.
contract is with them, but, or I can help you. But I'm sure you can call plenty of roofers that do flat
Yeah,
roofs.
and this is the way I've always been in my business. I ran things this way, and it's the way I always do everything. I want to do it once. I want to do it right.
Right.
I don't want to come back to it in 5 years or 10 years because I didn't want to spend the money to do it right.
This is doing it right. Putting an EPDM roof on a flat roof is doing it right. That's how it's done. You don't do shingle roofs on a 1 in 12 pitch. Even with a weather shield and, you know, ice guard and all that stuff. I mean, you just don't do that. And whoever did that, you know, was shame on them.
I'm not disagreeing with you, and I wish I'd seen it sooner, but I didn't.
Right. So we can't make up for that. So let's jump to the back porch now.
Okay.
Okay. What I'm seeing on the drawings is basically a wood deck, like a house deck or something like that.
2 simple platforms.
Right, basically decks,
Yeah.
like I have on the back of my house or something like that.
Yep.
Okay. Do the doors swing in or out?
The doors swing out. Well, I know for sure the second floor door swings out. I'd have to recheck the first floor door, but I'm pretty sure they swing out.
Do you think they have to for occupancy? You must not have much occupancy up there.
I doubt that second floor door was original to the house.
Mm-hmm.
So a good portion, almost the entire 3rd floor and a reasonable part of the 2nd floor, maybe a 1/3 of the 2nd floor, is a rental space for a tenant.
Mm. what I'm thinking of is, I mean, what I would like is for you to replicate the porch that was there. But I'm thinking, I don't like the idea of a wood deck, like a porch deck like I have on my house. What if you took the fire escape and, because you don't have the porch anymore, turned it around and then just had, you went right from the door right onto the fire escape?
I'd have
And
to
maybe
build,
just
I'd have to build a new fire escape.
Why?
Those are set in concrete. The posts that hold the escape up, the fire escape up, are set in concrete. I'd have
Well,
to
you
cut
have
them
to
off.
do
and
new
put new
footings
posts.
anyway.
Huh?
You have to do new footings anyway.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Then I cut the posts. So now I need new posts. Okay, so,
Oh, I'm saying
and
instead
then when
of,
I go to do it,
I'm saying instead of putting a wood deck up there, like a modern porch deck, which isn't very historic, just take your fire escape that you have, pour new posts, and set your fire escape right out from the door so that you don't need any deck, you don't have anything. You just come right out of that door onto the fire escape.
I still need a
rotate it
landing and
180
steps on the
degrees.
first floor.
What, Diana?
You rotate it 180 degrees, so it's going straight out? Is that what you're
Yeah.
thinking?
Yeah.
So if I was going to do
Or
that
90 degrees, yeah.
instead of moving the fire escape,
Yeah.
I would leave it where it is and have a fabricator make a new platform on the second floor. But it's going to look uglier than a dressed up deck.
Your dressed up deck is going to look like a treated wood lumber deck or right? I mean, that's what it looks like. It looks like someone's residential house, modern house.
So yeah, what happened was, so you understand, Jerry, when I initially talked to this with the carpenter who was there, was a CertaPros carpenter, doing the work, I looked to dress it up a little bit to make it more in character with the building.
Right.
So we looked at railing systems that would meet code, but were nicer, so turn balusters and stuff like that.
Right.
It doubles the cost of the railing system, or more than doubles the cost. I mean, for both porches, for a turn baluster railing system, for both porches was like $8,000 just for the railings.
Yeah, I'm trying to eliminate that and just going right from your door out to either a stoop.
I still need
or,
railings. I still need railings for the first floor
well,
because it's a high enough up off the ground.
sure.
Code's going to require railings. So
I'm just eliminating the deck and just having railings, a stoop and railings. I'm just trying to save you some money.
I don't know that it's necessarily going to save me a lot of money. If I don't do a turn baluster, it'll probably save me a lot of money. I haven't reached out to a fabricator. I'm not sure that I can take that fire escape, cut it off, turn it 100 or 90 degrees. I know the platform will not match up to the door. So the platform is going to have to be changed. So I think my best bet from a cost standpoint is to leave the fire escape exactly where it is and have a fabricator fabricate a new steel deck with new columns going to the second floor door.
You mean that's a steel deck that you're proposing out there, not wood?
No, I'm proposing wood. And you're telling me turn the fire escape and eliminate the second floor deck. And I'm
Right. No, I wasn't talking about doing a lot more steel fabricating, no.
well, it's not going to, I can't just turn it 90 degrees and put it up against the house. That won't work.
Yeah,
Right.
it's narrower than the door.
Well, I think the door would have to swing in.
Well, for egress, you're not supposed to have a door that swings in.
It depends on the occupancy.
Hanging the door the other way is probably not a big deal, but I'd have to go and take a bunch of measurements to figure out how much I got to do. I got to get a fabricator to come down. I'm going to have to do whatever you guys tell me to do, basically, but because I already had one of the guys look into that because he thought that was going to be an easier way to do it. And he got a price from a fabricator to fabricate it, but it didn't have installation cost, and it was $5,000 just for the second floor.
To do what?
Fabricate a steel platform
Oh.
with railings and tie it into the existing fire escape.
Right, right.
And that
So,
doesn't include footings and installation and blah, blah, blah.
right.
So
So,
is it going to save me a lot of money? I don't know, because I still got to do something on the first floor.
so what, you know, it's up to the board, but I'd like to, and I don't want to delay this, but I'd really like to go out there and look at your porches now that you have it all exposed with a ladder, and talk about the back area to see if there's a way we can save you some money on that. But I mean, I really can't tell you from just.
And that's fine.
Jerry, this is Joe. I have a
I
quick
didn't
question.
figure- What I was looking for tonight was a direction, not an answer. So if that's really what I'm looking for, and I think that's what Dan's looking for, and I don't want to burn up. Dan was kind enough to do this without charging the church or anything. So I don't want to burn up Dan's time. At some point, he deserves to be paid. So if I have to redesign things, Dan's going to have to charge us for that.
Sure.
So I really am looking for some direction. And if you need to see it, one of you, all of you, different times, whatever you want to do, I'm generally pretty open. I know I got some stuff on Monday morning, but otherwise I'm pretty open next week.
Is it covered up now? I mean, it's supposed
Saturday,
to rain tomorrow.
raining tomorrow. I don't know if you're going to want to do it in the rain. Like I said, the roof of that front porch is open. So
Mhm.
you can get up there and walk on it, but you got to be careful because you got to walk on beams to get to the point where there's still some decking.
I don't think liability wise, you want me to walk on it. So
Yeah.
I just climb up the ladder. That's it.
Yeah, just look at it from the top of the ladder.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, I don't want to walk on the structure at that point.
I mean,
So,
I'll go up and take a video of it if you want.
well, I think if I just go up there and just get a rough idea what's going on, I just can't visualize it because all I saw were those 3 pictures and not the full extent. So that'll be, if I can get up there tomorrow and look at it, you know, we can, you know, maybe come to a direction.
Okay. And the back porch wasn't going to be just like a back deck. It would have been painted. We were probably going to put white fascia around the framing so that it looked, you know, it looked nicer than just somebody's deck on the back of their house.
Do you think you could incorporate some of that beautiful wood boards that you had there from before?
Wood.
Oh, you even have a photograph of it, and you have them stacked on the side. You know, the decorative
That's
carved.
what was a hollow 4-sided box was what was holding the roof up.
But I mean, is that stuff any good?
It's not rotten. It's partially rotten. It's not fully rotten. I wouldn't bother trying to reuse that. I'd just replace it. I can duplicate that kind of trim. You know, we weren't looking to get that crazy. We even talked about you can buy, and I know you guys don't like this, you can buy fiberglass or aluminum columns hollow, structural, you know. But we were talking about sleeving a 4x4 post, which was going to hold the second floor up and be the
Right.
terminus for the first floor.
Right. No, that would.
Talking about
makes
sleeving
sense.
that post with something to make it look a little better,
Right.
you know, trimming out the framing on the bottom of the porch to make it look a little better. I like the idea of a deck rather than a solid porch, because when it snows or when it rains, that moisture leaves, and I
Right.
don't have to deal with getting up there to clean snow and ice off in case somebody needs to use it.
Right. Joe, is it all right with you?
Yeah, it's okay. Sounds like we have obviously some more work to do in the front, Jerry, and as far as looking at the proposal and getting some numbers on the flat roof, I understand that. I'm not sure I could say I totally understand what either side is proposing as far as the fire escape. I mean, I think I understand what Peter's saying, that the idea is to leave it where it is and then build the structure around it and make it accommodated, which makes sense to me. I don't understand turning it in front of that door. You'd end up having this, wouldn't you end up having the steps come out into the middle of the lawn if you did that?
I'm afraid they're going to come out into the driveway as well.
Yeah, I mean, that would seem like a lot worse solution to me than trying to do
I
it.
just want to see it. I just want to see
Okay.
it. I mean, it
Well,
might be
Jerry-
totally true. I just need to see it. That's all.
Okay, all right. Okay, it's fine.
Rita? You're on mic. Rita, you're,
I'm off mute. I was not able to take a look at the photographs, so I'm not following the whole fire escape, renovation at all.
Can
So
you go out there
I won't be
tomorrow?
back. What's that?
can you go out there tomorrow in the rain?
I'm in the mountains. I won't be. I'll be back Tuesday.
Well, that should be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, have a look at it.
We don't have to rush at this, Jerry. By the time we get a decision and then I go through the bidding process, which is harder than ever these days, I doubt that I'm going to have that porch work done before next spring.
I'd sure like to get some sheathing on there and at least the temporary tarpaulins.
I've got tar paper, roof felt draped down in front of all the openings in the wall so that
Okay,
it can't blow into the building.
all right.
But
Joy, how do you feel?
It's okay, but I thought you were gonna go look at it after we had our last meeting. So I just don't
I
want to see.
did, but I can't get up on the roof.
Okay.
I did look at it. I'm just standing on the ground.
all you
Okay.
gotta do is ask me. I'd be happy to come down with it and put a ladder up.
What's your number, Peter?
267
Okay,
833
833
9520.
9520. And are you, what's your schedule for like tomorrow?
Give me a second. I'm going to lose you when I do this. You'll see me, but I won't see you.
All right.
I am open tomorrow.
Okay. Is there any break in the weather? I haven't looked at it yet.
I looked at it earlier. Bear with me.
It's gonna rain off and on all day, I think.
Yeah,
I saw showers all day. Bear with me.
right. Yeah, that's where I was looking.
Jerry, I'm sorry, I have another obligation I have to hop. So
Okay.
it sounds like we have work to do on both front and the back, and we're going to reconvene based on what the feedback is.
Yep.
So there's nothing more to be decided tonight?
No, I think we're good. And,
Okay.
Okay.
So pretty much rain, 100 to 95% rain, pretty much all day tomorrow.
All right. Well, I have a rain parka.
So I wouldn't recommend that we do it then.
All right. That's
I
true.
could do Saturday, which looks like a lovely cool day. If you don't want to do Saturday, let's push it off into next week.
All right. What's your schedule?
Jerry, I'm gonna pop off because I've got to do something.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, I
me
think
too.
we're good.
All right.
Peter, here's my number. Do you have a pen, pencil?
Yeah, let me get back to where I should have been. Am I looking at you? There you are.
Okay.
I think you put a number in one of your
Good
emails.
night.
Go ahead.
215. My cell, 450-6965.
Okay, that number I gave you is my cell, but it's the only number I got, so.
Okay. Hey, you're modern.
No, I'm paying for a landline I never use, and I was just looking to reduce my expenses being on a fixed income,
Yep, I know what you mean.
so I dumped it.
Good idea.
Peter, when you have a time set up, can you let me know?
Absolutely, Dan.
If I can shoot over, I will.
That would be fantastic. Thank you, Dan.
So I can tell you, Jerry, right now, my week, with the exception of Monday, I got a 10 a.m. and a noon at the church.
Okay.
Okay.
That's on Monday?
A different project on Monday morning. So I have a 10 a.m. and a noon at the church. I'm not going to be, I figured it'd take me like an hour or so with each of those. So I got the afternoon open.
So like 11 or the afternoon?
I think afternoon is probably safer, 2 o'clock.
Okay, 2 o'clock?
But
Okay.
if you want to get some other members together, just look for a good day. You know, you get a chance to talk amongst one another, send some emails around or whatever, find a day that everybody can do it. If more people want to be involved, I'm fine with me. Like I said, I'm not pushing this to get done. I know how long it takes for the church to move things. Because there'll be 8,000 questions. Why?
I thought just Quakers were like that.
Quakers are actually easier because if one person disagrees, nothing happens.
Yeah, you're right.
In this church, 6 out of 12 can be asking questions, some of them the same questions, for like 3 months.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, I'm running back and forth to contractors who are getting annoyed with me calling them saying, well, can you change it? You know, and I was a contractor, I know. And I keep telling them, I said, this is the reason I can't get bids.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
So.
So.
All right. Okay. And maybe tomorrow you can talk to your, that other roofing guy to make you feel comfortable about
Tomorrow's Friday. I can send Bill an email with a picture and ask him. He does favors for me. You know, he doesn't charge me anything. I go back 40 years with Bill.
Yeah.
So I kind of let him fit me into his schedule when he can. It really depends on how busy he is.
Okay.
So I don't want to make him go through an exercise if you guys acquiesce and say, because for me, raising the pitch is the way I'd like to do it.
Right.
But if you guys determine that that's not the way we're going to go and I got to lower the pitch, then I'm going to go to Bill and say, Bill, what's the best membrane to use? I got to lower the pitch. You know, what's the best way to roof this? And if he tells me don't use a membrane roof, use a roll roofing system, that's what I'm going to use.
Well, if you're going with a roll roofing system versus raising the pitch, I'd probably be going with raising the pitch because you don't want a asphalt roll roofing system either. So.
That's old technology.
Do you agree, Dan?
Yeah, I do. That's kind of dated technology that.
Yeah.
Well, this is apparently a new system. And it ain't cheap. It's more expensive than putting asphalt shingle on the roof.
I think TPOs are pretty expensive. I think the other thing that the friend had was a TPO or a EPDM, and I think TPOs are really, they're fancy. So.
Yeah.
I don't know what he called this. He had 4 or 5 boxes of material that he put up on the roof because they were getting ready to do it before we pulled the roof off. And I think he told me that was like $4,000 worth of material.
Wow. There are some fancy stuff out there. No
It's
doubt.
pretty damn expensive.
Yeah. I've been out of it too long to know what EPDMs go for now.
It constantly changes. You can't keep up with it.
Right.
The other thing he told me, which I wasn't aware of, and maybe you're not, slate line shingles on the roof at St. Andrew's house have a lesser guarantee than Timberline. So what went on the barn was Timberline.
We and that was right for the barn anyway. We went through that process with, the pink house on Main Street.
Yeah.
And I said, well, slate line, we always did that, and I thought it was just as heavy in belts as Timberline. And for some reason, that Timberline is like half the price of slate line. And it's, compared to everything else. I mean, somehow that Timberline is as cheap as you can get.
It's a better shingle.
Yeah, but it's cheap compared to the other things, so it's hard to argue it.
It's got a better guarantee too.
Right, yeah. So why they do that, I don't
The shingle
know.
that's on the shingle, and it's just the shingle that's guaranteed, not the labor, but the shingle that's on the roof of the barn has a lifetime guarantee.
Well,
So I'll be dead before it goes bad. So maybe that's good. You know, I mean,
there you go. So, Daniel, any questions?
I have a question on a different topic, if I might.
Go ahead.
My wife and I own a building on Main Street. It's right next to Rosa's. It's the big white building with the big columns in front of it.
Nice. With a beautiful garage in the back?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I had a
fun.
friend who lived there.
On the second floor, there's fake shutters beside the windows. And they're made out of some kind of fiber board. I don't know. It's splitting and all coming apart.
Hmm.
And I either have to replace them or trash them. And I was wondering what your thoughts might be on that.
Well, obviously, if they were there, I'd want to, if it was my house, I'd put on real
Real wood.
with the true hinges and everything else. 'Cause you put those screw-on things and they look terrible. They're never the right size. They're not placed right. And, you know, it just adds decoration, but it's not
That's all they are.
yeah.
That's all they are. And they're starting to fall apart.
You might as well take them down, and then if you ever think about, you know, replacing, do it right, even if, but yeah, I would just take them down.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's a beautiful place though, so. you
Yeah,
Gotta
I
get by there.
it's got aluminum siding on it. And I suspect there's probably some really nice old wood detailing behind it, aluminum siding.
Do you know the house behind Santander Bank
Yeah,
in College? Now that was built the same time as the Quaker Meeting House. That Santander was the Quaker Meeting House. And they were built at the same time. And I made the mistake of saying, and it had asbestos siding on it. And so Trenton Siding said, well, I'll put on 8-inch vinyl siding because it had, you know, 10-inch asbestos. And when they took the asbestos off, they had beautiful 6-inch wood siding. It had lost its paint, probably from the heat with the asbestos on it, but it was absolutely gorgeous and it looked like it was in good shape. Someone just said, oh, we'll just, you know,
That's what
cover
they
it
did.
all up sometime. So,
that's what they did.
yeah, so, I mean, that place was so messed up over time that, you know, we said you could go with the vinyl on it, but, you know, I see the Dreyfus, and he's going to such work and all that stuff, and I didn't know it, but they had that masonry infill. The library has a masonry infill in it, which is different kind of construction. And there's a lot of things hidden in these walls that we don't know about.
They're on
So
these old buildings.
anyway, anything else?
No, Pete, just let me know when you're going to get this meeting set up.
okay. As soon as Jerry tells me, I'll let you know.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
tentatively 2 o'clock on Monday.
Okay. Okay. So Jerry, I got a question for you. I think I shot you an email. I don't know if you saw it. Going through this HARB stuff, I got an email from one of the vestry members wanting to know
Oh,
if any of the church's buildings are on the historic register.
the National. No,
Okay.
it's just Yardley Historic District. And the National Historic Register is nice if you have a taxable building, because sometimes you can get tax credits. But for churches, it doesn't do you any good.
It also comes with a lot of strings.
Yeah.
I have an aunt and uncle who had a house that was on the National Historic Register in Stony Brook, Long Island. Used to be the town tavern way back in the day.
Nice.
and they had to open the house 1 or 2 days a year to the public.
Oh, really? To maintain that tavern status? Oh, neat. Well, that's great. Did they save it?
They moved out of it.
Oh,
Sold
okay.
it, moved out of it. This was a long time ago. I was a kid, 12 years old.
Oh, well.
My favorite aunt and uncle. So if you're familiar with Makefield Friends,
Yeah, I'm clerk there now.
the big old stone farmhouse on Mount Airy right next to it.
I met you. We were talking about with that tractor that you gave us.
Oh, yeah.
So,
It's still-
yeah,
I thought you were going to get rid of that. That's still sitting in the shed. That was a nice tractor.
it's a very good tractor. Just no one likes that tractor anymore, that model. It's a very good tractor. And Hugh, who always liked to maintain that, he can't do that stuff anymore. But no, it's a great tractor. So I wish we could sell it. Actually, I think Tanner's might be interested.
I asked him if he'd give me something for it, if he'd put it on consignment. He didn't want to have nothing to do with it.
Tanner.
Yeah, I asked a couple people when I was trying to sell it before I gave it to you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody want to give me $500 for it. That's a $10,000 tractor.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
So,
So I said I'll throw it in the dumps before I'll sell it for $500.
right. Yeah.
You know, you want to get real, we'll talk about it. You know.
Yeah. So.
Guys, I gotta bow out.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Dan.
Thank you. Take care.
Yep.
Bye now.
All right. All right. Well, I'll talk to you on Monday, Peter.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Thanks.
Have a good evening.